What's going on Instagram? This is T-Rod, Tommy Rodriguez here with my boy Chris Hall. We're downtown Atlanta right now. Those who've been following me for quite some time, you obviously know about my automation services, and if you actually look at my Instagram wall, you'll see a lot of IGTVs with a lot of my clients. I've been flying around, doing a lot of lives with clients because it's more personal to do it, obviously in person, whereas, how I used to do it was just over the computer. So I wanted to fly out here, see Chris again. It's been, like a year and a half now?
Something like that, yeah.
So we haven't met for quite some time, but I wanted to come back out here again, talk about his experience. He has not just one, but he has 2 stores with my service. We're going to show the revenue of the store. We'll talk about the profits, as always, the ins, the outs, what he does for a living. So without further ado, I appreciate you letting me come out here and doing this video. And I say this in every video, and I know it's probably kind of in a funny way, but you're not a paid actor or anything, are you?
Not by you.
I'm not paying you. I'm not paying you. Not holding you against your free will.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
So
my own volition.
So I've been doing a lot of these lives. So I want Chris to take it over. Obviously you're from Atlanta.
Yes.
What do you do for a living? How long have you been with my service? What do you think? So I'll let you take it over and kind of dive into it, man.
All right. So a little bit about myself. I work in sales, in home improvement, and basically I came across your service through a mutual friend of ours, one of your other clients, JD.
Yep.
And he introduced me to this program, kind of showed me a little bit about it, introduced me to how it works, and I was very intrigued from the very get-go. And basically I said, okay, this is very interesting. Let me see. Let me see what you do, and then I'm going to obviously make a decision with that. And obviously once he came into the service, then I saw him starting to make sales, starting to make money, and I was like, okay, this works. I can see it with my own eyes, and I trust him too. Jay wouldn't lead me wrong. There's no question about that. So it didn't take long for me to make a decision to say, hey, look, this just absolutely makes sense. And I didn't want to just tiptoe into it. I wanted to dive in head first. So I said, give me 2 stores. So basically I came in and said, look, if I'm going to do it, let's do it. So
correct.
I flew down to Miami, met you in person. Even brought another friend with me as well.
Yep.
So
he signed up as well.
He did sign up as well.
And to kind of piggyback off that, it's crazy because it's like a domino effect with my service. A lot of people are really happy with the service. So obviously, like anything, when you're happy, you want to talk about it. You want to refer people to the service. So my boy JD, he's been with my service for probably a couple years now. And I've shown him off like on stories. He's bought a new car for his business. He owns a couple other businesses. Then he referred him. Then he came in 2 stores. He brought one of my other clients who's sitting over here at the same time. We'll get to that in a little bit. But it just becomes a domino effect of obviously people who are obviously happy clients. Yes. So you signed up. When did we meet again, should I say?
You talking about since I signed up?
Yeah. It was like last year, yeah?
Oh, I first signed up, it was April of last year.
2019.
Yeah, 2019. I basically, whenever I first came in, it took me a little while to really get the feel for how to set up the store. I drug my feet for a little while, so it took me a little while to actually get the store up and running. Took me about a year. It should not take people that long.
Correct.
That was my fault. So, I did drag my feet on that, but obviously now with the infrastructure that you have in place, it's a much easier process for new people like Chuck over here, who got his store up and running in probably less than a month.
Okay.
So, obviously your business has made strides as well, made it so much easier. So for all of you out there watching the video, interested in the service, you don't have to take a year like I did.
Yeah.
Okay, it's much easier now. Both of my stores are up and running now, and I guess I'm 4 or 5 months in now?
Yeah, about since April of this year. So again, just to kind of piggyback, when we're talking about growth, and I don't know if you can hear that noise from over there, but he's made 3 sales in the last 10 seconds on his store. So to kind of, again, piggyback off that, what we're talking about from last year's 2019, I went through quite a bit of growth structure that I outgrew my prior infrastructure. And when that happens, it's because you're bringing in too many people and you don't have the proper systems and stuff in play to be able to handle the kind of volume. And that's actually what happened in even early 2019. It just a lot of people just lining up at the door, waiting to pay me money, and certain things, again, I just outgrew. So for a long time, I realized I needed to get the infrastructure even better and better, and it's always about evolving the business and adding more infrastructure and more, because obviously if the demand is obviously to bring in more clientele, we need to have the infrastructure in play so stuff like that doesn't happen. So yeah, maybe it took him a little while, and he might have been busy in his own life and his own business and his own stuff. But like you said, we have a better system in play as of this year, which is obviously 2020. What's today? October 13th, again, 2020. So people know this isn't some old video or anything like that. But again, I say that in a joking way because I know people could, say that. But so you've been with me because JD referred you. You signed up with 2 stores out of the gate. How much did you pay?
For your service?
Yes.
So whenever I came to you, the fee was $25,000 per store, and so basically we did work out something where if I was going to do the 2 stores that we'd do a little discount. So got a little discount on buying the 2 stores, which was one of the factors in me deciding to say, hey, look, I want to do 2 stores, run them simultaneously, kind of just cast a wider net, so to speak. So that's the goal really of having 2 stores. So that's awesome. The reason why I wanted to do it that way.
Now, a couple things before we really dive into numbers and a little bit more of his story and profits and stuff like that. If you watched one of my last videos, I was just out in New York with my boy Jonathan, and we didn't get to some of the details I wanted to cover, probably because I talk too much and dive about a bunch of other things that don't really matter. But if you're watching this video, we're obviously going to get to the Q&A towards the end, answer some of your questions that you may have, again, about my service. Obviously, currently at the moment of you watching this video, my service is still $25,000 for my service. As of January 2021, we are going up to $30,000 for my service. I really wanted to go up this year in the beginning of January 2020, but my infrastructure still wasn't really where I wanted it to be. So I actually even put a hold on the marketing so that we could focus on building the infrastructure to a point where it just keeps leveling up, keeps making the clients more happy, easier setup, phone support, back office support, live chat, whatever clients needed. We were really trying to really focus on that, because without infrastructure, you don't have a business. Your business is just doomed to collapse. We preach that this is a 12 to 18 month program. We do 100% drop shipping on Amazon, so those who know what kind of business model that we run here. I do have some other models that I do run on Amazon, but we aren't really openly talking about that, but we do offer a couple other things as well. But again, this business model, what we have on his store is 100% drop shipping. So you've been with me since April 2019. What is your thoughts been, because so it's been about 1.5 years for you, right?
Yeah, total.
What has your thoughts been like from then till now? Like you just said, it's obviously gotten easier, right?
Oh yeah.
But what is your overall thoughts with like what we've been doing with the infrastructure, the Facebook group, everything? Like, what is your unbiased thoughts?
So there's so much support there now, especially bringing in Melissa. She's made the biggest difference in the world, just being able to streamline everything and just be able to basically provide the information that you need when you need it. So, as questions come along and as, even speed bumps in the road, like we'll talk about that as well. But, when those things do occur, you have the resources available to be able to help you navigate that. And then you yourself, you're not inundated with all of your clients, and then you're not having to waste all your time with that as well. So, it's made the biggest difference in the world. Honestly, I couldn't be happier with the service.
I appreciate
really
that.
Couldn't.
Now, obviously, we talk a lot about the bad too with my service. Guys, if you watch any of my videos, another sale. It's not something that might have been his over there too. I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
I don't know.
It's overriding it because it's Prime Day over here.
It is Prime Day, yes.
But was that yours? Yeah. Now he's making sales too over here. His store's doing really well as well. But not to get off track. So one thing I do talk about a lot, again, if you watch a lot of my videos, whether some are on IGTV or Facebook, or you've caught some of my lives that I've done in the past before on Instagram, before they finally changed it so that we could save videos over 18 minutes. Prior to just 2 months ago, they wouldn't let you save videos if it was too long, so that you could upload it to IGTV. So, but we do talk a lot about suspensions, card problems, issues. Now, you obviously have 2 stores. So, have you ever been suspended? with my service?
No, I have not been suspended.
Not once?
Not once, no.
How long has your store been live this year, like the first one?
Okay, so my very first store went live at the very end of April. So I think I had like 3 or 4 days before the end of April.
So what? So it's been about 5.5 months.
Not even.
Okay,
so May, June, July, August. Yeah.
So about 5-ish months.
Yeah, 5.
Now again, he has 2 stores. The one that we're going to show today, again, we're going to obviously talk about both. But how long did it take for you to make your investment back? Have you broken even? Are you still in the process of breaking even? Where you at?
No, I'm way over even now.
Okay. Okay.
I'm definitely making profit now. There's no question about that. I probably made even.
And we're gonna turn all this stuff around in just a moment. We'll show the revenue. We'll talk about the profits. Again, we're gonna talk about the second store as well.
4 months it took me.
So 4 months to break even.
Yeah.
Okay. So I also want you guys to really understand one thing, that this was a 12 to 18 month program.
Yes.
So if anybody that's looking at, and I'm pretty certain I told you that when we met, yes? Yeah. Did I tell you about suspensions?
Absolutely.
Did I hide any of that from you?
No.
Okay. And I have to stress that because, like, again, people will think when I make these videos, it's like, or talking about my Amazon automation, people might miss what I've said in an older video or older story. And I just want people to obviously understand, again, I'm truly transparent when I talk about my service, just because I'd rather not take someone's $25,000 and, you know, not have to deal with the headache and the stuff that could come with that person specifically, because I want my peace more than I want the $25,000. Just to be honest with you, that's just what it is. But suspensions and obviously all that is obviously part of the game. We do appeal it for those who are watching this. If you know you have my service or get my service, if you get suspended because of late shipments, A to Z claims, chargebacks, a lot of these things that we can't control, but we can do everything in our power if that were to happen to obviously appeal it and get your store back. We've gotten a lot of accounts back that were suspended, but there are some stores that might take longer. So if you're wondering how long does it take to get back, could be 48 hours, could be 24 hours, could be 2 hours. Hell, it could be a month or 2 before Amazon decided they want to lift a finger. Amazon's a lot like the stock market. They get to do whatever the hell they want. Yeah. And I'm not Jeff Bezos, and I can't call Jeff Bezos on my speed dial and say, "Hey, Jeff Bezos, lift this store for me." You know, I can't do that. You know,
Tommy?
I know. If I could, trust me, I would be charging a lot more for my service if I had that kind of connect with Jeff Bezos directly. But these are real things. This business isn't just a straight shot. You are going to experience obstacles, bullshit. Things will happen. This is not a get rich, fast thing. But again, at the same time, who wants to get rich slow?
It's a business.
You know what I mean? It's still a business, and there's pros and cons. So again, he has 2 stores. Now, your second store, we were actually just talking about it before we did this live. Explain to them why that's not really moving like the first one is, and we can obviously explain and bounce that off each other.
Okay, so basically I wanted to focus on getting my first store up and running. Like I said, I dragged my feet through the whole process at the very beginning for probably a good 8 months, 9 months, something like that. Then I really buckled down and I said, okay, I really need to get this thing going. So my goal was to get the first store up and running first and foremost, and then the second one. So the second one went live probably 2-3 weeks ago, something like that.
Yes.
So it's a fresh, brand new store. It's got a few products listed in it. It's made a few sales already as well. So it's rolling.
So again, we bring that up because obviously people are going to ask, like, how's your second store doing? Now, in your opinion, obviously, as long as you've known me and as long as you've been in the group, you probably have seen other people talk about it. For anyone that's wondering, what is the benefit for you, in your opinion, of having 2 stores?
Basically, it just allows you to be able to, catch a bigger audience, essentially. But it can serve as some protection as well. So when you have multiple stores, in the instance that you do have something like a suspension, you're not just dead in the water.
Correct.
You've got a safety net there.
Yes.
So that's really the reason that you can have 2 different stores and it really be beneficial. And like I said, also it does allow you to be able to broadcast more products, make more sales, and obviously that in turn builds more revenue.
Of course. And we also want you to understand, no 2 stores are ever alike. While one store could be booming, the other store could get hit with a suspension. It could get hit with just not really making a lot of money right out of the gate. There's from capital, like what the person's capital is like, to the VA, to the issues with the customers that are buying off his store. Just so many different variables. So with that said, why don't we show this store? I want you to refresh since you've been banging out sales as we've been on this call. Yeah, you could use the iPad too. Turn that around and do that if you don't mind.
All right.
Just so people know it's not photoshopped.
Currently, it is what time? 2:22 p.m. right now, and I am sitting at $35.59 in sales for the day. Let me refresh it here. So there it is.
How do those numbers make you feel?
Man, you kidding me? Be able to just sit here and say, okay, there's money coming in right there.
This is one store doing $147,000 in revenue. Again, this is not profit. This is revenue. Again, we have his sheets. We're also going to show his sheets in just a moment.
You want to look at the 12-month?
Yeah, if you want to show them the first 12 months of it.
So basically, I'm just looking at a 12-month snapshot of my store here. You can see very beginning of April or end of April, I had the very beginning of my sales. Then in May, it really jumped up so far. And
so if you really want to get technical, from March, April, didn't even get started till almost May.
That's
if
correct,
you really want to get technical.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty freaking crazy. Have you seen, like, obviously you've done other investments, right? You told me you've done some stuff. Have you seen anything for $25,000 that you can get into and kind of make this kind of return?
Nope. And that's why I was like, hey, look, I want to.
Exactly. And again, obviously the other perk is if you have capital to be able to fund both stores, and one store's making you 10, the other one's making you 20, or again, in this case, one store is obviously taken off because the other store got started late. Now, he's almost at a point where he is broken even on 2 stores with just one store's profit. So why don't we turn that around, show them also the profit. You got another sale. I just saw that come in.
Let me cover up my store.
Prime Day, man. So it's busy.
So you want to show them my profit?
Yeah. So hopefully you guys can see that from here. Again, we obviously have a professional camera over here outside of the live so that you guys can take a look at some of these numbers. There's April, we barely made anything, $50. And then you got May, $4,600.
Yeah.
June, it went down a little bit. July, it went down. Then it went up again.
Yep.
Another sale. Can you see that?
They're just coming in.
They're coming in. It's non-stop, man. And again, now, one of the main things that I want to discuss, if you guys have seen any of my other lives that I've done, every single live, I can't stress it enough, and I know a lot of people out there who might be mimicking or copying my service would probably never even talk about, but because I like to try to be as transparent as possible, I always ask people on a live, while we're in person, if they have a CPA, if they have a bookkeeper to verify the numbers that we're given. Now, in every single one of my videos, every single person has verified that they have a bookkeeper, they have a CPA. Now, unfortunately, my boy Chris over here was just telling me recently, he actually doesn't have anybody.
I don't.
Now, do you want to explain why you don't have somebody, and we'll dig into that as well.
Well, basically, right now, I am looking for, I want both a bookkeeper and a CPA.
Correct.
I want this to be completely hands-off for
Correct.
myself. Some people want to be their own bookkeeper and then just work with a CPA. I don't want to do any of it.
Correct.
Personally, I want somebody else to just say, hey, what do I got to pay?
Yeah.
Just show me what to do with my money. That's what I want. But basically, my store grew too quick. I anticipated it would be next year before I needed that.
Yeah.
And I was wrong. Thankfully. But
I mean, here's how I would look at it again, guys. So if you're watching this and you're seeing these numbers, obviously he doesn't have anyone verifying his books. So if you're wondering, well, how do we know the numbers are legit? I mean, I've done a lot of other lives where every single client has already verified. So, once he gets a CPA and a bookkeeper, if he's wrong, I will delete my whole Instagram, man. I will give away automation, whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's how confident I know that we are in the numbers, because so many clients have done lives with me that have obviously backed up and had a proven track record with other people verifying their books to know that it's obviously accurate. So, again, so he's obviously got to get his own bookkeeper and CPA on that. Another sale coming in. But it's distracted.
I can verify that I'm definitely making profits.
Okay, can you tell them how you know?
My bank account.
Okay.
That's how I know. I can just sit there and look at it, and I've seen where it was when I started, and I see where it's at now.
So what did it start with? Do you know? If you mind telling people. You can even give a ballpark. It's up to you.
I'll just say this: I started at X, and now I'm at double X. So it's basically twice what I started with, and I had some capital in the bank.
Okay.
And so that's how I know.
Okay.
Pretty much, it's reflecting what we've got here. So
Okay.
it's spot. If it's not 100% accurate,
Yeah.
it's pretty damn close.
So what you're saying, if it was off by $100, you wouldn't cuss me out or something? Okay. So, again, guys, like I said, that's really the best thing that I could really say for that. Again, in most people's cases that would talk about automation, I don't think anybody would traditionally ask people if they have a CPA and a bookkeeper on a live or have, video, if we're not trying to obviously be as transparent with you guys as possible. I didn't bring him on here for shits and giggles. I didn't come all the way out to Atlanta to, force this guy to get on live. If you weren't happy, would you be one referring people to me like Chuck over here? Would you be doing this live with me? Would anything really persuade you to get on a video and give falsified information?
No, and the proof of that is, look, you can just go to my social media and look at where I've posted my results, and I don't post those results to,
brag about it.
Yeah. I do it because I want to see people win also.
I like that.
That's how I am. When you find something great like that, you want to share it with people, and that's why I put it out there. Is because obviously I see that it works, and I tell, and I've said this before on my social media, if you got a 401k, dump it. Put it right here. I'm serious. I'm not even kidding. 401ks, yeah, they're safe and what have you, but slow and steady.
Yeah.
With what you're offering here, man, it's kind of a win-win, super low risk.
I appreciate it.
You're gonna make money so much faster doing something like this than you could in something like a 401k.
So we were discussing earlier, and even when we talked a little bit about Amazon suspensions, I want to throw something at you guys just again. So it's just trying to be transparent and give you guys as much information that you guys can possibly have. When suspensions on Amazon do happen, they do obviously have the right to hold your money for up to 90 days. So if you were to get suspended or anyone else were to get suspended, they can hold some of your money that they pay you every 2 weeks. Now, for some people, that's scary, okay? I remember a time back in 2016 where I was doing even really still well financially. I was using PayPal as kind of like my payment processor, and I had over 65 grand tied up in PayPal. They decided to just cut me. And a lot of people who've been following me on Facebook for years know that story because I still have the picture on my Facebook. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you can find it. It's right there. And they held 65 grand for not just 3 months, but they held that money for 6 months because I was offered a coaching service back then, teaching people how to Amazon. I didn't have tracking numbers, so I had no way of proving it was delivered, and they just thought I was high risk. So they held the money for 6 months. So when I talk about Amazon can hold people's money for about 90 days, that could be because of late shipments, because of customers complaining, from customers claiming they didn't get their products, to leaving you bad reviews. These are all the risks, but you're gonna get the money at the end of the day. Like if it's tied up for a little bit of time, that's fine. But traditionally, we like to get our clients' money back. If they get suspended, we'd like to get it back. Obviously as quickly as possible because we want their money to be released, and we don't want our client to be in a financial situation. But that is, I would say, some of the risks. And the other risk, I think we were talking about earlier, you said it's really not a risk if you want to get technical. Do you want to explain that when we're talking about a little bit of suspension, so we'll dive off that topic?
Yeah. So I understand from your standpoint, you want to always put everything out there as far as being transparent with everybody, letting them know, not just the positives, but the negatives. And I feel like you probably talk about the negatives more than you even need to be honest with you.
I agree.
But I also understand why you do. But also at the end of the day, from an outside perspective, this is really not a true risk. And what I mean by that is, just like you said, once you've made your money back from the initial investment, it's all profit.
It's all profit.
It's all profit. You're not losing anything. So, at the end of the day, if you were to get suspended, truly you're not losing anything but the time.
Yeah.
Ultimately, your worst case scenario is you get a store that's suspended and you can't have it reinstated. Well, you have to start over, basically.
Yeah, and that just requires a little bit of time.
It's just it. It's going to cost you time, which time is money. But at the end of the day, if you've already made your initial investment back, then truly, what are you losing other than the time?
Correct. And kind of to piggyback off the whole not talking about the negatives, one of my last videos and even some of my videos, I feel like I do talk about the bad a lot, and then I guess. To me, when I'm talking about the bad, it's that so people can't say I didn't say this, I didn't say that, and if people come to my service, they understand the risk. Chris obviously knew the risk, told him straight up everything when we met. Chuck knew all the risk, and even these guys that, I'm just going to use them as an example. Obviously, among a lot of my other clients, obviously understand this, but their mindset is like, dude, if it takes longer to get the money back, or if I lost the money, like that's the risk that you take as an entrepreneur. Like if you want to get ahead, you want to get further in life, you got to understand that there is some financial risk to, do you want to spend the money, and do you want to risk it, obviously suspension, do you want to risk this? But then if you look at the positives, what if you come in and you make $25,000 a month? What if you make $10,000 a month? What if you make 15 or 50 or 60? Like some of my other clients. Again, we have clients that have been making $100,000 a month, $80,000 net. This isn't revenue. This isn't just cash back. This is actually money that's hitting people's accounts. And again, from somebody who's done investments for real estate right now, for a couple $1 million tied up in real estate, to other things that I have going on. Even with my service, obviously it would be unbiased for me to say anything different. But again, that's obviously why I have my clients here to obviously vouch for that, and even on my other videos. But like for $25K, you can't make this like really any way you go. So. And
I'm gonna say this because you can't, but
okay.
You, in everything that I've seen, you are constantly under promising and over delivering.
I appreciate that.
That's basically, because I mean, like you said, you tell me it's going to be 9 to 12 months to make my investment back. Well, here I am 4 or 5 months in, and obviously I'm way even beyond that. So I mean, you have definitely over delivered here.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And when we also say 9 to 12, when he came in, we was talking about that 12 to 18 months obviously was an average, but there was a good chance you could make it back in 9 to 12 months, because there's obviously a lot of clients, him and some of my other clients that I've done live TVs with, that have made it back much sooner. But again, it's not something that I want people to expect. If you can't go at least 18 months without the full investment of your store being active, this is probably not for you. If you need to take out loans, this might not be for you. If you are the type of person that is going to freak out if you don't make your money back overnight, this isn't for you. Like at the end of the day, this is still business, it's still service, and just like anything else, you obviously have to treat it. A lot of people come into the service, not necessarily just this service, but a business or investment, and they treat it like it's a hobby. And when you treat it like a hobby, you're going to get paid like a hobby. When you treat something with the seriousness of longevity, business, and prosperity, you understand that if you're patient and you can trust the process, it will work itself out. It might not happen overnight. It might take 6 months for your store to really pick up.
Yeah.
It might take 9 months. It might take 10 months. Hell, it might take a whole year. Just like most businesses, they don't even break even for the first 1 to 2 years. So if I can help you guys break even in less than a year, again, that's the goal. No promises. The results of my clients' success does not dictate any type of future results with anyone that's watching this video.
No, and no two stores are going to be alike, period.
Never.
So there's so many variables that come into that you can't, just because you've seen my numbers, don't expect your numbers to be exactly like that either.
Correct.
Who knows? You could be better. Your numbers, my numbers to me look great. Your numbers might come in and they might actually blow mine out of the water. Don't know. They could also be much slower. Everybody's going to be a little bit different as far as the products that they're selling, the returns on their investment, as far as their profit margins and things like that. You can't really control it's a little bit of a luck of the draw as far as what people are going to buy from you, So it's kind of a wait and see, and just, you guys out there have to understand that just because I show you my results doesn't mean that yours will be just like that. It could be better, it could be worse.
So real quick, and we're going to probably answer a couple questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. I'm trying to keep this around, less than 40 minutes, like one of my other videos. What is your capital, real quick, that you had to play with? I know that's going to be a common question people ask.
Currently right now, well, I'll start with what I started with initially. I had an Amex card that basically had a pretty decent limit on it, about $22,000.
Okay.
I also had some money in the bank in my savings that I was able to also help with funding the store. So obviously, if you don't have the capital to work with, you can't scale like this to begin with.
Of course.
Obviously. So that did help my situation in that I actually came into this with not just credit, but also liquid capital as well. Now I've recently gotten the ever so popular Plum card, the charge card. So I really just put that in play this last week. Now, obviously got a little bit more capital to work with there as well. I have a partner on my second store who, I use his name, obviously to keep things completely separate, so that when Amazon does look at it, they don't see me owning both stores. They see two separate,
correct,
obviously owners on both stores as well. So,
awesome.
you guys would definitely want to make sure that if you are going to do 2 stores, you want to make sure that you've got it in
like different names,
completely separate.
And there's ways to do that again for taxes and purposes. So make sure you obviously have a good bookkeeper or CPA that knows what they're doing if that's the route that you're going to go. Any other questions?
She's answering them all. What is the initial investment for more than 1 store?
$25K. You got a deal last year when I was also running this deal for 2 stores. You never know, I might be doing that. And also, before we answer another question, again, prices going up January, again, 2021. And those who know, still currently at the moment, I have my Rolls Royce giveaway. Basically, you have to be a current client of mine and refer 1 person. And anybody new that's coming in will automatically be qualified to enter, for their chance to win the Rolls Royce. Or if you're an affiliate of mine, basically means you want to promote my service, get people to sign up for it. If you refer 3 people and you don't have a service with me, you refer 3 people alone. Should I say 3 people alone? I just repeated myself. That will automatically qualify you, obviously, as your chance. Being a current client and then referring 3 people, you get 3 entries. Where if you're an affiliate and you refer 3 people, as I said 1, you refer 3 people, then you only get 1 entry, if that makes sense. So obviously it makes more sense to become a client and then refer 3 people so you can get 4 entries, versus if you are an affiliate and refer 3 people, you only get 1 entry. So
plus if you refer, you get the referral bonus, right?
Yes, and on top of that, you also get the payout. So it's kind of like a win-win. And obviously I don't want people coming in here just because I'm doing the Rolls Royce giveaway, because I'm only giving away 1. I'm not giving away the tire to somebody, another tire to someone, the engine to someone. No, I'm literally just giving away 1 Rolls Royce that's worth a very high 6 figures currently at the moment, so you guys can take it. If you want to drive it, that's fine. I recommend someone to take it, trade it in, and make freaking hundreds of thousands in actual profit, and hopefully flip that and turn it into something else that's going to keep helping you double your money. Any other questions that Melissa might be answering that I can answer before we go?
You should have a minimum 15K in credit to start?
Correct. And we have a very lengthy 17-page contract that's very detailed, letting you know, obviously, again, a lot of this stuff. If you guys are curious, visit TommyRodriguez.com. There's another video there, 18 minutes. We're going to be changing that video probably this month with a new updated video. It will break everything down. If you have any other questions, feel free to book a call off that website. And once you book that, if you're still interested, my sales team will send out a legal contract for review and sign, give it to your attorney, whatever you feel that you need to do, and then we'll sign it back, and then you guys can wire over the money, and then we can make it happen. So, any other last question before I go? Unless Melissa's clearly banging them out.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Outside of that, guys, so I do appreciate my boy Chris coming out here, or should I say let me come out so that we could do this video together. Again, guys, you guys are going to be seeing a lot. What's your Instagram handle so they can give you a follow?
It's Chris_Hall_official.
Okay, you guys heard that. Chris_Hall_official. Give this man a follow so you guys can keep seeing his journey and the progression of the store. So hopefully we break both of these stores into the very high 6 figures. So we appreciate you guys coming on, tuning in, and we'll see you at the top.